Fuck, man. After the Jordan Peterson Sam Harris debate, and holy shit, man, Sam Harris is. All right, let me just say this: like, people have issue with Jordan Peterson. I have issue with Jordan Peterson, but a lot of people don't actually comprehend functionally what Jordan Peterson is actually talking about. Like, the reason that people can watch Jordan Peterson talk about the Bible for fucking hours is because what Jordan Peterson is really trying to contemplate and was really trying to grapple with is the literal creation of humanity as sentient conscious beings. And what was the functional transition from animal to human? You know what I mean? Like, where did that functional change happen and how did that evolution really come about? And what he uses to help guide his comprehension, to help grapple or consider or research in a capacity or another how that evolution from animal to human happened, he looks at one of the oldest fucking texts that has been continually been supported throughout the entire fucking history, like recent history, easy. You know what I mean? Like, how late does the fucking Hebrew Bible go back? Like, to 3000 BC, 4000 BC? So we're talking about a book that has been in existence for nearly 6,000 years, more or less, so on and so forth, as a fucking mechanism to observe the human creation, the human development of the fucking human consciousness. Because regardless of what you think about the Bible or fucking religion, human after human after human, society after society after society, generation after fucking generation after generation has elevated the Bible to a point in position that it has succeeded generations and literally civilization after civilization. And what Jordan Peterson is doing is saying, hey, this is insane. Why are humans elevating this book? Why is this text being elevated to this position in this capacity? And in fact, if you want to look at the conscious development of human beings as we functionally have been created or have evolved to the point that we are at today, you need the information. You know what I mean? You need to understand what they were thinking. You need to understand what they were reading. You need to understand the conversations that they were having. And one of the best examples to see how humanity got to where it is today, so on and so forth, in like a trajectory sense, or just an understanding of like what human beings valued back then to here, the Bible is one of the greatest examples ever. And people just like, I don't know, like people are fucking stupid. It's not nice. It's not nice. People are just, cannot think. People's like thinking is just horrible. But no, it really is. Like, holy shit. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Einstein. Like, Einstein has been a personal hero of mine since I've been like 7. Like, real shit. Like, I've read, it was Jesus, Einstein, and then MLK, and then one other person. But like, hero. Like, Einstein was a person I like literally grafted my own life in one way or another to fucking follow. Like, Einstein's philosophy is something at the very heart and core of my entire comprehension of the world and existence. And it's funny because, like, people just don't understand. You know what I mean? Okay, this is what I remember the quote. What people do today, atheists and these secular people, are just incredibly stupid because what they are saying is like, oh, we just reached this point, we're great now, fuck religion. It's just like, bro, do you know the fucking work that took to get us here? It's like, yeah, you know, we know science now, so we should even, you know, consider about like all the technological examples like the wheel, you know, what service, you know, what purpose does that serve? You know, like, we understand all of that. What you're doing is you're discounting the entire reality, the entire basis for humanity as it exists functionally now because of the fact that you think you're fucking smarter than some fucking people. And that's sad. Like, people, and the problem is just like, people are just, all right, I'll not insult people, but honestly, if you think religion is stupid, therefore there is no God, you're a fucking idiot. Like, that, like, fuck it. That logical conclusion, that logical process is moronic as shit. And I mean, Einstein even said, like, you know, the problem with these atheists is that at the end of the day, they have the same, they're like the religious themselves, because at the end of the day, they get pissed off because they were in a religion, and after they get out of the religion, they still intellectually chained and degraded themselves because of the fact they're mad at the religion, that they can't even functionally think properly because all their focus and comprehension about the subject of God or even religion itself is dictated in the functionality. How's it dictated? Pyramids are pissed off at religion, so they can't get past their intellectual thought process isn't able to comprehend any functional nuance or any capacity to consider even the very topic of religion or God itself. I mean, you can say religion is bullshit, and I would agree a lot with that conception, but just because religion is bullshit doesn't mean God is bullshit. You have to be a fucking idiot to think, oh, religion is stupid, so that means there's no God. And it's so incredibly stupid. I have a hard time functionally even understanding how to accurately explain to someone who thinks that shit. Like, I don't, like, the reason I'm not giving an explanation why it's so stupid is because it's just like, I don't know how to explain consciousness to you. I don't literally, I don't functionally comprehend how I can explain the very existence of consciousness to somebody, you know? Because that's where you have to start. Because people are like, animals, no God. Like, the creation consciousness is so fucking complex that to say that no God is just, you're stupid. You're too stupid to understand, to ask the basic questions of consciousness itself. And that's not something I can help you with, because you're probably too indoctrinated in your own, atheistic dogma and fundamentalism that at the end of the day, any conception of a concept like God isn't even something that you would even spend your time thinking about, because you think you're so fucking right and so fucking smart that at the end of the day, you are smarter than entire human history before you. And that's actually the other problem. Like, atheists think, I am the smartest person to ever fucking exist in the entire history of the world because I came to the conclusion, no God. Really? Really? Really, I don't understand how you can be so stupid and think yourself so smart. But yeah, and Sam Harris is a great example of that type of fucking just mindless, fundamentalist, atheistic fundamentalism. You know what I mean? Like, it was insane. But I just gotta say this: what the fuck is Jordan Peterson doing? Like this motherfucker? Like, for real though. Has he never read anything Jesus wrote? Like, Jordan Peterson, for all his genius and complexity, seems to have no comprehension whatsoever about anything that Jesus really said or talked about. Functionally, Jesus was on the left of the fucking left. If you have any fucking understanding about what Jerusalem and the area of the world that Jesus lived during the time he lived, he was a fucking he was a radical of radicals. Like, he literally went to the religious leaders, the entire religion, the only fucking religion. Let's be real here. Think if there's one fucking religion, just you're all fucking wrong. That's what Jesus did. But more so than that, he had female disciples. You know how insane that is? Female disciples. And when Jesus was asked, who is the neighbor? Who is the person who goes to heaven? You know what example Jesus gave? The Good Samaritan. He didn't say the good Jewish person, the good fucking Pharisee. He said the Good Samaritan as the functional example of who inherits the kingdom of heaven. And people think that Jesus was fucking conservative. Motherfuckers, have you read the fucking parable of the sheep and the goats? His literal fucking baseline of this gets you into heaven, this gets you into hell, was literally help the poor, sick, and hungry, help the fucking stranger, aka Donald Trump and all of these fucking quote unquote Christians are going to hell if Jesus is right. Period. He literally said, for I was a stranger and you did not welcome me. When did we see you a stranger, Jesus? When you did it to the least of them, you've done it unto me. So the people who are crossing a desert to escape war with their children and then have their children fucking taken away from them looking for help and salvation, what? That's Jesus. That's literally what Jesus said. That is him. That is the physical manifestation of himself on this world. And we have fucking conservatives who call themselves Christian who are yeah, man, take those fucking children away. I had a conversation with a dude who said, because he's talking about the wall, man. We need to build that wall, so on and so forth. I was like, bro, there's this crazy, 24th century technology that is called the ladder and rope. And then motherfucker was like, yeah, then we might have to shoot people. And you're a Christian? Who the fuck are you? Seriously. I don't even know. I don't even fucking know. I don't know. I don't. It's I'm an Elvis Presley fan and all I listen to is Johnny Cash. Do you know the words that you're using and shit? But yeah, my problem is that Jordan Peterson completely glosses over the fact that Jesus was very fucking left. He is progressive fucking easy. easy. Like, read what Jesus, people, it's just like, how does he not see this? I don't know. And I guess I'll have to talk about Sam Harris's stupidity other times, but I think I made some good points. Anyways, leaving it at this. Major point about the Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson debate, so on and so forth, which is just moronic. Sam Harris thinks that at the end of the day, we could just recreate whatever we fucking did before, which is just arrogant and stupid. It's like saying, hey, we can just throw out all the science we had previously and mathematics previously because our mathematics right now is fantastic. Or our science right now is fantastic. Einstein said this is Einstein quote, 1,000 times a day I have to remind myself that my inner and outer lives are products of those living and dead, and I must exert myself to give back the same measure I be given and continue to receive. What he pretty much saying is like, bitch, I didn't create English. I didn't create German. I didn't create this fucking house. I didn't create fucking air conditioning. I didn't create fucking paper. I didn't create agriculture. I didn't create fucking goddamn cell phones. I didn't create cameras. But guess what? I get to utilize all of that shit. So to ensure that at the end of the day, I'm not being some arrogant prick, I have to understand that everything around me is the product of other fucking people. Same thing with the idea and the conceptions that we have today regarding morality and the depth of humanity. To just be able to say, hey, fuck it, we're atheists, we got it from here, is the fucking height of like arrogance, hypocrisy, stupidity, and hubris. And it's just insane to just see these fucking people not be able to consider or comprehend the complexity of humanity and human society and just be like, yep, we're atheists now, so we got this shit. I mean, like, atheism, duh. How do you not get this? Like, it's just, you don't have the capacity. You know what I mean? You're on the 400th floor, so on and so forth. And because you're on the 400th floor, like, the first and second floor just, we don't need that shit. Motherfucker, yes you do. All right, so that's the point. And Sam Harris, and it's like, this is stupid. These people are very stupid. And like, consciousness itself, the very existence of itself is an insane, like, if you actually comprehend consciousness on the very fucking basis of, like, the real depth, the real meat of it, you understand, like, saying no God is not only, like, dumb and arrogant, it's just, like, incredibly, like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Real shit. But yeah, deuces.